18.3, Chuck Niemer here, hanging out at the Starbucks before I go visit family. Thought I would do debriefs on the first round for everybody here and do them with a video here as an easier way to follow along and we can look together here. So here's where we are for team three. I went back one quarter to see where you started out in round three, and you can see you had just about 28 million in net income. And if we go up to round four now, that 28 million has become 29 and a half. So your revenue's up quite a bit, which is a good thing. So let's do this. What I did is I used the download buttons in the corner here. Let me pull up an Excel spreadsheet here. I downloaded both quarter three and quarter four so we can do side-by-side comparisons. So you can see here, row 8, revenues up almost $5 million. Excuse me. And if we go down to the expenses that go into that, you would expect product costs to be up a bit, which they are, 53 to 56. Transportation costs are up a little bit because you sold more product. So your total expenses have gone from 63 to 66. But overall, then your margin has gone from 36.1 to 38.5. So you kept about 2.5 out of the 5 million. So about a 50% margin. And then out of that, if we go down to the operating income with all the other expenses, that's gone up about 2 million. Okay. And so there's about $500,000 difference down here in net income because revenue's up, or excuse me, not revenue, but just operating income's up, you pay more in taxes. But the question I want to look at here, so operating income went up roughly 2 million where gross margin was 2. So you lost about 500,000 in fixed costs. So let's take a peek at that here. Here's part of it right here. Here's 300,000 forecast inaccuracy. And then down below another 123,000 in unfilled orders. So what that tells me is that you didn't forecast enough. Okay, so you picked up the fixed costs that would normally show up in general and administrative overhead, but it's due to forecasting here. So let's go to additional reports. So let's go to forecasting accuracy. Excuse me. You can see right here that your forecasted demands, you dropped some of them compared to the others, but here's your actual demand. So retail demand in North America was 13,000. Actual demand was 30,000. So you only made about 43% of the demand out there. So there's a number of cases where you did not forecast enough. So if we go back up to sales forecasting, here's those numbers again. And my speculation would be you may have gone with the system forecast, or you may have just thought, hey, we want to lower it. But what it tells me is you're running the business well. You just under forecasted what the demand was going to be, and you pay that penalty for unfilled orders and forecast inaccuracy. Now, normally that would show up probably under general and administrative expenses in a generally accepted accounting principle. And so it gets all kind of tucked together. But if you think about it, what that actually is when you don't forecast enough and you can't sell enough, you got customers calling you, you're checking out what's going on. There's all sorts of administrative tasks that are involved with not being able to meet demand. And generally, those all get tucked into general and administrative expenses because we can't tie that to specific orders necessarily in terms of manufacturing. So it all gets lumped in that general administrative. Here, we're able to show you that, hey, there's additional costs to think about when you under forecast and you can't perform. Okay. So hopefully that gives you an idea. You're on the right track here. We just left business on the table and it cost us some more revenue. And certainly cost us more expense because we had to administratively handle that type of overhead or that type of expense involved in dealing with the customers because we didn't forecast it out.